Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of GotGameTesters. This episode is basically bringing back an old favorite. It is Expedite North America. This is the board for Expedite North America as opposed to Expedite the first one. As you can see, it's, well, basically central North America. Going all the way from Canada down to Mexico. Here's the scoreboard, and we have the cards down here. Now, if you don't know how to play Expedite, I'm going to go over this very quickly, but if you want a lengthier explanation, then you can go to my previous episode. But essentially, on your turn, you can do one of two things. You can play a hub, which is, well, playing a chip, essentially, on different spaces, as well as drawing cards. Now, when you draw cards, you can draw up to 3 cards off the top of the deck, but the difference between Expedite the original and this Expedite is that when you draw 3 cards off the top of the deck, then another card comes out in the open, as opposed to just having 2 and then 3 off the top. So there's that option. And then this can go up. If someone else decides to still draw 3 off the top of the deck, then a 4th card can come out. Now, what do all these cards mean? Well, you collect cards and combos, and so that way you can buy different places over here. But again, if you really want an explanation for everything, then you're going to have to go to my previous episode. Wilds are still wild, and these are still take over any spot. Let's go ahead and look at the board a little bit closer. So just a couple of things that are a little different. For example, now there are dead ends. So like from here, from St. John's to Moose Factory, and from here from Calgary to Prince Albert. Things like that. There's dead ends now in the game. I'm not really sure why, but there are. And it's a 2 to 3 player game only, so it's a much tighter game. And lastly, the thing you need to know is that these hubs, where your main permanent hubs are, you can no longer pass through them or share them. Now, you can end there. For example, if I had something to go from Santa Fe to Calgary, I can still end there, but I can't pass through if I was trying to go to Uranium City or anything like that. So those are kind of big changes. The fact that it's less players, less spaces, a lot tighter kind of game. If you ever get a card that, well, let's say, for example, is you're trying to get Prince Albert and you're the blue player and you can't get there, well, you can just immediately discard the card and draw a new one for free. And that's about it. Okay, guys, if you've seen some of the earlier episodes, there was one that's called Expedite right here. It's not... Expedite had a Kickstarter, got funded, yay, ta-da. And if you know anything about it, I basically shunned Ticket to Ride for all time and eternity, okay? I'm done with Ticket to Ride. Expedite replaced it for me, and the reason why is because the things that I didn't like about Ticket to Ride, Expedite had changed out of. So I didn't really like the shafting mechanic where you're kicking people out. I liked sharing more. I liked the fact that it ended sooner, that there was a goal, that first person to 100 points as opposed to the person to get the most points and things like that. Now, we can debate Ticket to Ride and Expedite all day if you want. That's fine if you like it. I know you like it. That's why I still have it, is because, well, my sister likes it, so I keep it around for her. But for me, it's Expedite. Now, what can I say about the North America? It still plays, it plays a lot faster, simply because you can't play 4 players, and that's how I prefer to play it with the original. But with this one, it's a lot faster, it's a lot tighter, it's a lot cleaner. It's pretty obvious if you're going to make it or not, and it's really, really intense with 3 players. But I didn't like Expedite the original with 2 players, but in this one it is great. I liked it a lot more. It was significantly better. Do I like the new rules? Well, let's talk about the card mechanic. Yes, absolutely love the card mechanic, okay? That was a weird thing with the first one that was like, you draw 2 from the top or face up, or you can draw 3 face down, and like 99% of the time everyone drew 3 face down because, well, that's 3 cards as opposed to 2, unless they really, really, really needed the 2 that were face up. Usually if they had like a purple card, a wild card, or even some doubles or something like that, those were the only times that people would pick up the face up cards. But in this one I liked it a lot better because it adds that sense. It's like, well, there's 2 cards now, but I'm giving 3 face up for the next person. And if you're the guy who has 3 face up and you want to still pick down the 3 face down cards, that's saying 4 cards. How can the next guy pass it up? All right. So it's a lot more fun with that. It speeds the game up, and I love it when games that take a long time, that are sped up, because then you can get them to the table more frequently. So do I still like this game? Yes. Do I think the theme is great? Yeah. Yes, I do like the theme. I don't think it's the best theme in the world. So if we're going to do the report card, whoosh, then I would give the theme an A-, okay? Because it's not the greatest theme in the world, but I like it. I like it a lot. So the mechanics, great. I think that they cleaned up a lot of things. I'm still kind of unsure. Also, I'll give it an A- simply because I'm unsure about the whole dead end thing now. It hasn't really caused any huge issues. It just changes it, but it didn't like change it enough that it was like, wow, dead ends, that's really cool. It didn't. It's really because you can like discard the cards anyway. So I don't really know how I feel about that. The flow of the game, like I said, goes a lot smoother, so that definitely gets an A as well. Yeah, I might sound really biased because I really like Expedite, the original, and call me biased, that's fine. I do still think that the routes on the map aren't doing so hot. But that's not, I'm not saying that they're all bad. There's just a few that are weird. But the designers already sent me an email saying that like things have changed anyway, that there's sometimes people can block people out depending on the impassable ones. Now the impassable mechanic, I'm not sure if I like it, but I'm going to go with it because it does change things a lot more, and it does make for a tighter game, and it does make you have to decide, am I going to share or am I going to pass? I did like that a lot more. Simply because in a 4-player game, it gave me the same intensity of a 4-player game in the original as it does in a 2- or 3-player version in this one. The fun factor is definitely still there, if not greater, I think. So that's definitely getting an A in my book. I feel like there's not a wow factor still, because to me Expedite should be getting a lot more attention, but it won't ever, I think, just simply because Ticket to Ride has basically owned that market and will for all time and eternity. With that said, the fun factor is definitely there. Overall, do I think it's got game? It definitely has got game. I really think it's got game. I think that overall this game deserves an A. I think it's a great second map. Personally, I hope that he doesn't come out with a whole new edition like a standalone, but he might. And if he did, I wouldn't matter either way. If he came out with just the map and like a new set of rules for the original Expedite, that's cool. If not, he can do the standalone. He might even do better with the standalone. I don't know. That's another Expedite for you. Hopefully, I can't wait to find out if it comes out on Kickstarter and when it does, and I'll let you guys know when it does. Anyway, you guys know what to do. Subscribe, comment, let us know what you'd like to see more in the show. Thanks for watching, guys, for another episode of GotGameTesters on Expedite North America.